You are watching live coverage from Detroit PBS of the 2025 Mackinac Policy Conference. We are turning to Rick Pluta, Senior Capital Correspondent for the Michigan Public Radio Network and my co-host of It's Just Politics. Before we head back in to the main stage for the next session, Rick, want to check in on this third day of the policy conference because you had a really interesting interview earlier this morning with Governor Gretchen Whitmer. What did she have to say?
She talked about, the space that Michigan is in terms of, sort of on one side of the equation that there's a lot of turmoil surrounding, tariffs and just the economic chaos of Trump administration orders. And then on the other side, business people who want stability, who want low taxes, but primarily want stability. And she says that these are not things that the state can necessarily control, but as much as possible, the state needs to, create a situation where it's calming those waters as much as possible to, so that you can work through the storm surrounding us.
I thought it was interesting. I remember a few years ago during this conference, the governor saying, a governor cannot control inflation. And I sort of got the same sense from her in this conversation with you, where she was like, look, I can't control the decisions that Donald Trump is making vis-a-vis tariffs. But she did say she is going to sort of work on behalf of the state in any way she can to make that message that business leaders and some lawmakers are telling her.
I mean, it's sort of funny because, there are so many imponderables, within the economy. Everybody who's here knows that. But yet we still expect the government to manage it. And, it obviously has plays a big part of that in terms of regulation, interest rates, things like that. But there are just so many disparate elements out there that are beyond the control of individual business leaders, of politicians, of economic forecasters, that's how, I mean, really the unspoken theme of this conference is managing chaos.
Yeah, it really is. I want to quickly also note one moment in the conversation. Some news came out this week. The president, Donald Trump, said that he was considering pardoning the folks who had been found guilty in the kidnapping, hostage, possibly murder plot against Governor Gretchen Whitmer in 2020. She actually told you, Rick, that she spoke to the president last month. This is news to everyone. He asked her what she would think about the pardon. She requested it not happen, and he said that he would drop it. And then this week, it comes back up that he's considering it.
She did. She was, at that meeting in the White House, and the governor and the president, she says, asked her about that. What did she think? And she said she thought it's a bad idea. It sends a bad message that it's not just about her, but it's also about, the president was the target of an assassination attempt, and she condemned that at the time.
She did. Well, Rick, thank you for bringing us that conversation with the governor later this afternoon. We go to the governor's keynote address, but right now we go back to the main stage.